Hello, my dear members of the board of More Genes. Today I'm going to be discussing the current issues we're facing and how I, as the lead of finance in our company, is going to help us address and solve them. So, to start, I do believe that we must identify the problems we're facing. Right now, our customer returns have risen to 22%, which is horrible. It shouldn't be like that. We have to do something about it. As for the losses, well, slow-moving inventory items are causing a 15% contraction in gross profit margin, which again is not something that should be allowed at our company. There's a friction. 40% of our first-tier suppliers are resisting circular sourcing updates, which again just should not stand in our company. So what's our mission? Well, to save ourselves from this horrible circumstance, we must establish a sovereign leadership to maintain our core net profit margin of 45%. This initiative is the core of everything I'm going to be talking about to you in this presentation today. So, what we should be focusing on next is recalibrating our current leadership matrix. And what does it entail? Well, it involves transitioning from vision to execution. So what's the change that we're trying to implement? Changes, we're shifting from loose compromise to 100% vertical responsibility. And what attitude do we put forward? We ensure strict adherence to our 25% recycled content minimums. So what is the framework that we're putting in place? The framework is 4 challenging quarterly milestones replacing unverified sustainability commitments, which is going to help us a lot to make sure that we reduce our returns and actually stabilize the current situation. So by doing all of this, what is our specific goal? Our specific goal is unifying fragmented internal teams under a single unified economic unit. So, now we're moving to a more spicy topic, which is the financial penalty of operational drift. And what does it involve? It involves quantifying the divergence of brand promise and execution. Now, we cannot afford the loss of credibility. It's just simply not possible. It would hurt us a lot. So, what we're dealing with is excess inventory. So our production lines are forcing us to freeze €250,000 in cash reserves. Margin dilution. Returns logistics cost €3.50 per shipped unit, which is horrible. Procurement bottlenecks. Supply shortages are causing a 60-day delay for new product lines. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is a horrible thing to be dealing with. So what is the conclusion we derive from this new piece of information I just presented to you? The conclusion is our current operational weakness threatens to reduce brand value by 30%. You know how horrible this all sounds? 30%. That's just not good at all. Now, how do I actually put all the stuff I just mentioned into actionable steps? Well, what I'm here to propose to you is the 90-day run. What's going to be part of that 90-day run? Well, that 90-day run is about outsourcing capital expenditure to secure circular scale. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be buying the capacity instead of building the infrastructure. So who's our provider? Well, our provider is going to be United Repair Center, and our objective is the integration of the United Repair Center for 100% of regional repairs. What does it give us? It gives us the arbitrage advantage. Immediate reduction of returns processing costs by 18%. You know how amazing that sounds? 18%. The social benefit is the creation of 500 demonstrably socially responsible jobs. We're actually going to be seen as saints in the face of the public. 500 jobs, and everyone's going to love us for it. Now the impact. Conversion of 15,000 custom returns annually into sorted, resaleable items. Now, next step is the allocation of capital and resource prioritization. Self-funding the circular transition via waste elimination. We fund this out of a lot of our inefficiencies. So the pool, what's the pool? Well, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be defunding the bottom 15% of slow-moving, high markdown lines. The budget is shifting €80,000 into the 90-day United Repair integration, which is going to be amazing once it's being fully executed. The return on investment, targeting a 5% drop in customer acquisition cost via visible takebacks. Now, what is our metrics? How do we measure our success in this mission? Achieving a 1-to-1 cash payback on the pilot within 180 days. So we have to make sure that we actually manage to gain profits from this whole new idea of ours, the new implementation in the next 180 days, and I believe it's quite realistic. Now, the next step that we should also be very focused on is de-risking our supply chain, which involves overcoming supplier resistance through volume guarantees. Cash commands compliance from our suppliers is important, and it's something we should ensure. So what's our goal in this case? Our goal is scaling post-consumer recycled content, denim content from 40% to 60%. Now, what's the lever in this case, the one that we're going to be pulling to kind of make sure everything is moving? The lever is offering €500,000 in pooled volume guarantees to compliant spinners, to everyone who follows what we're trying to do. The hedge, implementing a 2.5% contract penalty for any late circular shipment. Yes, we must be punishing, and we must be punishing hard. The safeguard, capping the pilot rollout to 3 core denim styles to protect initial cash flow. Again, all of this is very important, so I do hope that you are paying your utmost best attention in this presentation, ladies and gentlemen. So, now, we're moving to a more dynamic part of everything that I'm going to be talking today, which is deploying the human capital. And what is it all about? Well, it's about breaking silos to enforce fiscal and circular alignment. Every department answers to this new implementation. Now, what is this going to be all about? Well, in terms of design and buying is going to be restricted to materials that maintain a 68% gross margin floor, which is amazing for us. Now, in terms of logistics, routing 100% of returns through United Repair within 48 hours of receipt is just absolute maximum efficiency, blitzkrieg levels of efficiency. So, in terms of marketing is all about shifting 30% of ad spend to emphasize durability, cutting returns by 5%. In terms of finance, publishing a weekly margin report with zero tolerance for unbudgeted spend is again another strict measure we have to be very, very serious about when implementing, because it's going to save us a load of money. Now, as for another thing I'm going to be talking about is, again, a very important and vital part of this whole large engine that I'm trying to put in place, which is the accountability architecture. Now, what is the accountability architecture about? Well, the accountability architecture is about binding partners and staff to hard deliverables. Trust is good, but collateralized contracts are so much better. Internal KPIs. Now, what are internal KPIs? Executive bonuses docked if markdown waste exceeds 8% of inventory. Again, we've got to be very serious about this. Yes, implementing this will not necessarily be the most popular thing and might be disliked. But who cares about being liked when we can save a lot of money and actually salvage the situation for our advantage, for our company to continue growing and prosper. Now, as for the external KPIs, suppliers must hit 95% on-time delivery rate on recycled items. Board visibility. Real-time dashboards tracking cash-to-cash cycles down to 45 days is also very important. As for our ecosystem play, in our ecosystem play, it's all about securing 45,000 euro in regional Amsterdam Circular Innovation subsidies, which is just amazing, great for us. Now, to wrap it all up, is the final ultimatum for scalable growth, which is securing authorization for immediate deployment. Now, I would like to ask you respectfully to accept the proposal so we can finally act and secure the market, our market. Now, my request is the approval of the 80,000 euro capital reallocation for United Repair Center. Now, the mandate is absolute executive power to axe the bottom 15% of our underperforming lines. Yes, it's time to be executioners to get further growth. We should not hold back. Another thing is the timeline. Execution begins hopefully as soon as possible, and first margin yield review is in 30 days. The promise, the promise is 120,000 euro in cost avoidance achieved by the end of the third quarter. I believe this is realistic, and I believe we should all be looking with excitement towards this promise becoming a reality. So, I'd like to thank you all for listening to me today, and I hope that my message has reached deeply into all of your minds and hearts, and that we can start acting as soon as possible.